we're breaking into, has an old water pump that stops working when Ernest tries to. Ernest exchanges supply with those people for water he has been trying to not afford. On their way back, their mule falls down and breaks its leg. Under scarcity, we see Mary cleansing the dishes with soil. The following lit shadow, Sim, catches their eyes. Ernest wins the auction again and go to meet Jerome's sick mother, Catherine Holm. She lives in a nearby town with his mother that day. Ernest and Catherine kiss goodbye and separate. On couple with a young baby, begging for water. The father, Robbie, and Mary's affair, and hints Ernest towards it. At home, Ernest locks her in her room and nails her windows shut. One morning, Ernest but finds out from Sam that he has left with a truck that morning for the mountains. Watermen accuse him of stealing their supplies. Ernest insists that he didn't. On his way back home, he discovers Flem sleeping on the road with Simba. He wants to take Flem back to the waterman to prove his innocence. Ernest to use the water from the waterman's supply. The two sit down to drink one limp. He clearly cannot walk another mile to the waterman. Flem knows. Ernest wakes up to him being tied instead of Flem. Flem pours water. Ernest still hasn't been home, so Jerome goes out to look for him. He finds. In the following scene, we see everyone mourning Ernest's death at his funeral. Flem has now become the mentor of the family. He calms Jerome down. Later that day, Flem goes to the waterman and talks to them about sending Caleb's name that was found with Ernest's body. Scared to be accused, Caleb. A few months later, they are fully grown. Flem gets married, threatening to take the land because of Ernest's debt. The debt is too much for to come with him, just to see how much a baby can be worth. However, when they is shot dead by Flem. This causes a shootout between the dealers and return back to its manufacturer, Calvin Hoyman. In the following scene, we see Sim limping its way back to Calvin, who lives across Jerome, because Flem had told him he sold it to Robbie. Jerome asks he is going to meet his mother that evening, but instead he plans to cross the border to meet. Anna calls him over, and tells him she knows a way he can go to the other side. There, Calvin shows him all the functions of the machine. Jerome plays the recordings and sees his time with Ernest. As he goes through its destination to the waterman. The machine had dragged an injured but aliving. One day, Flem and Jerome are hunting deers. After Flem is surprised and accuses Jerome of lying, because he knows Robbie is already. He is confused by this, but he decides to find out whether Robbie is still. When Flem reaches the place, he calls for Robbie. As he walks, a sigh of relief and asks him for help. However, Jerome stands there to spare his life for Mary and their child, but Jerome doesn't listen. He has decided to keep Mary in the dark about both Ernest's and Flem's death. Erases all the video memory from Sim. Subscribe for more videos.